Hey guys, it's AlluringSimmer here, back with a new video. In this video, I'm doing another speed build, and for this speed build, we're actually doing a haunted house. So, in terms of like actual haunted houses, it's not really one that's like been haunted for like over a couple years or whatever, and now there's like ghosts and stuff. It's more of like one of those fun haunted house where you like take children to like walk around and stuff. And then the upstairs is just like a regular home, but it's like it has some like creepy vibes. So your Sims can walk around upstairs and stuff, and it still like has that kind of scary feel, but it's obviously not actually going to like do anything. But for the lot traits, I did add in the haunted trait as well as the curse trait. So when your Sims do actually visit this lot, there probably will be ghosts that like pop up and stuff and like freak your Sims out. But in terms of the actual build, it's not too scary. So I use a lot of the items from the spooky stuff as well as quite a few items from the vampires stuff pack. And the spooky stuff pack is more of one of those like Halloween kind of, it's not really scary stuff, which I don't know how to explain what I'm trying to say, but like the items are more like those fun like kind things that like don't really scare you, but it's like fun to decorate with for Halloween, because most of the items are like not, I don't know how to explain it. Besides like the haunted paintings and stuff, like the jack-o'-lanterns and stuff, like those aren't really things that like freak people out during Halloween anymore, because they're just like a fun thing to do with children. And I'm sure you guys probably figured like get what I mean by that. Um but yeah, so it still has like that really scary feel. Like it's obviously not just like a house that's been decorated for Halloween. It's like a haunted house. Like that you would just like go visit to like be kind of scared for fun. So I added a lot of like creepy things to like make it seem more, I don't know, run down. I don't know if haunted houses are necessarily all run down, but like that's kind of the look I was going for. So you'll see that like most of the items, as I said before, are from vampires and spooky stuff pack, because I felt those were the things that like fit the most with this build. And also the expansion pack get together, I used a few items from there too, because they had like, I don't know, a rustic kind of feel to a lot of the items, so I thought that fit well into this build. In terms of like landscaping, I just added in these rocks to like make it look more spooky, and then like these dead plants and thorns and stuff that just makes it look like scary, I guess. This was actually like a really fun build to do, because I've never used, well, I never really used any of the items from the spooky stuff pack, because I bought it like way after Halloween, and then I just didn't really feel like any of the items fit into the pack unless you're using it for Halloween stuff, if that makes sense. Um, so yeah, that's the main reason. Vampires works really well, even if you don't like, if you're not really into vampires themselves. Like a lot of the items from the vampire stuff pack is actually functional in like regular builds, but I find that the spooky stuff pack is like very limited to Halloween kind of themed builds. So yeah, here I added in like the spider and stuff over the flowers just to make it look kind of scarier, because I liked how the flowers looked, but I felt like it just made it look um like a nicer home, and I wanted it to look scary, so I just put spiders over it because I felt that made it look scarier, if that makes any sense. And here was where I created like, if any of you have ever been in a haunted house, I like took two steps into one and walked right back out. But um if you've been in a haunted house, most of them are like a maze kind of thing that you walk through, and there'll usually be like people in costumes and stuff that will like pop out and scare you, and then they'll also have like little decorations that are there to scare you as well. And yeah, so it's like a maze. You walk around and then eventually you get to the end, and like that's the end of like this haunted house kind of thing. But yeah, that's what I was going for with this build. Originally, I had it with just everything being one space wide, but then I changed it up a little just because when your Sims are actually walking around. I wanted it to be like nicer to the eyes, because like if you're actually playing in game, like it's kind of annoying to have just one space between the builds because it's kind of hard to see what's going on. So I have like little openings where like the scary things are, so that you can like really see what they look like. um I used a lot of the spiders in this build because to me, like those are like the creepiest things that came with the spooky stuff pack, and they also like glow in the dark, which makes them like even freakier. um like they don't actually scare me, but like they're like the creepiest things that I felt fit into this build. And then here you can see I was just adding in like random paintings and stuff from the pack, as well as items that weren't even from the pack that I just felt fit into the build. Like for example, that like group of pic photographs over there, like it just has like this creepy feel, even though it's not really supposed to be a creepy um piece, like wall art piece. And then over here I have those like candles that I ended up putting around like the little statue. And then I put that like skeleton wall hanging thing, and I added in a bunch of these candles with like the like goblin kind of arm holding them out, because I thought that looked really cool. And yeah, so there's a lot of candles going on throughout this build, just because like it's supposed to be kind of dark, but like I felt the candles lit it up enough that you can see the stuff in the build without it being like super bright and not really like a haunted house would normally be. This thing, again, not from either the spooky stuff pack or vampires, but like when you put the candles around it, it just makes it look creepy. And then I added a bunch of cobwebs all over the place just to make it like more scary, I guess. And that was pretty much it in terms of like decorating the haunted house part. The rest of the house is still like has like scary touches to it, but like it's not really, it's more just this area is like the main purpose of the build. But because it's such a huge lot and like I made the actual house really big, I didn't want to just leave it right there. So you'll see that how I decorated the rest of the house in a little bit. I originally was going to post this build in 2 parts, but I ended up just doing it all in one because I felt that that looked better. So here I am starting out on the living area and bathroom area and the hallway. So for the living area, I decided to do it's not really a living area, it's more of like a library. And then the bathroom is not really that functional. Like you can use it again. I like to have bathrooms on all my builds that you can use, so you can use like the actual washroom. But like in terms of the bathtub that's there, like that's not really functional. So the reason why I put like red flowers in there, it's kind of supposed to look like blood. Obviously I can't actually put blood into the build because there is nothing that's like red that would just sit there and kind of look like blood. So I just ended up putting in the roses, and then I stuck the spiders in there and added some cobwebs around it just to give it that scary feel. And then for the toilet, I used the one that has like there's like 3 designs to it, and I used the one that had like the eye on it because I felt that looked creepy. And then over here, I made the build mostly dark. The only lighting is those like little stage lights, and those light up the spiders and the bathtub with the flowers in it, which I thought made the build look creepier. And here I was doing the little library area, so I use those like doors that you usually see in like haunted houses, or just like builds where it, or like buildings where it's like supposed to be kind of, I don't know, like they have like a secret passageway or something. So I use those doors that look like bookshelves from the outside, but they're actually doors. So like, I felt the way that I built it, like it doesn't look like they're actually doors because I put 3 right next to each other, but they're doors, so your Sims can go into this room. And I thought of this room as like a fun room where your Sims could watch like scary movies and stuff. So I'm thinking of this overall build to be like a haunted house, but also like it's kind of like a recreation center or something that was turned into a haunted house so that people could come and visit and like be kind of scared. But yeah. I would probably make that more into like a theater room now that I'm thinking about it, because it is kind of just a living room area because there's only like 4 seats, but it still functions well enough that your Sims, like if you have a Sim family of 4, they could come and watch scary movies and stuff just for the fun of it. And you could see there's like that little transition right there because I actually did the bottom half first and then the top level afterwards, which is why it was originally going to be 2 separate videos, but I felt that it just made sense to make it as one because the top level doesn't have as much um, detail to it as the bottom level, if that makes sense. So here I made one of those rooms where it's like all the furniture is covered in like the sheets and stuff, and then they're like all over the place. And then I use like that not ghoul, the gnome that looks like a ghost to like make it look like it's coming out of the chair. And then I just use like a bunch of like creepy little items to make this room a little bit more scary. So again, all the rooms, even if they're not like really functional for like doing stuff, I just wanted them to look kind of scary and make use of like the packs that we have available to us, because I haven't been using as much custom content in my builds as you may have noticed, simply because I want you guys who have these packs to be able to download it and use all the items in there. But so that's why I've been trying to use stuff from what's already in game, because it makes it easier for you guys when you're downloading the builds. You don't have to download a bunch of extra custom content in order to actually see what it looks like. So yeah, for the rest of the build, it wasn't really like trying to make the rooms extra scary. They're just kind of like dark, and I still kept some of the like spooky paintings that I used downstairs to just keep like the same overall look going on throughout the entire build. And I used like the same flower technique with the spiders coming out of it because I felt it just looked really cool. And if you think about it, if your sim like uses only this bathroom and they don't see the one downstairs, then they'll still get the same effect. So yeah, I don't remember if I added railings around the stairs or not. Let's see. Okay, I did. Because at first I was gonna be like, that's really weird, because I normally try to remember that because I feel like otherwise it just doesn't look as good because you have that little white trim around it. And then over here, I found that bedroom looked really cool because I had the ghost like decor item from Spooky Stuff, but I used like the move objects on to like make it look like it's actually floating above the table. And in terms of like actual living, your Sims could technically live in this build because it has everything except for a kitchen pretty much. So you could just turn like the haunted house area into a kitchen if you wanted to, and like have your Sims live in here, especially if you have like a vampire Sim. Since I did build this in, is it Forgotten Hollow? So if you have a vampire Sim, your Sim could live here. Um, you would just have to remove probably a couple items like the stuff out of the bathtub so that you could actually use it. But overall, it's like a functional build. I used it, I built it as a nightclub, but just so like Sims would come here on their own. You wouldn't have to like make them come here in order for it to be filled with people. But again, as I said before, you can turn it into a residential lot and have your Sims live here if you wanted to. Here was actually, I think I did build a kitchen, so never mind. It pretty much has everything you need in order to have a functional home. So if you wanted to, you can use this build as a home for your vampires, or you can use it as the haunted house, as I said before. So we're actually going to be getting into some screenshots right now, and then there will be like a virtual kind of tour of the build that you'll be able to watch and enjoy. So I'll see you guys all in my next video. Thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Download this build on the gallery. Origin ID is at AlluringSimmer, and it's in the description down below. And I'll see you all in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.